Don't you just want to be happy? Wouldn't it be awesome to live your dream every single day? Go out there and live your dream and do your thing. And honestly, if you're not living your dream, then you must be doing something else. Live your dream. Good morning and welcome to the Dream to Succeed radio show with Dr. Quincy Hawley. I am so excited to be here with you guys on this day, simply because we're switching things up a little bit. So first and foremost, I just kind of want to apologize to you guys for any background noise that you may hear. I accidentally flooded my house about 2 weeks ago, and we're just finally getting the water restoration people here to get everything dried out appropriately. So we've got a bunch of fans downstairs and they are extremely loud. But so if you hear any like humdrum background noise, that's why. So I apologize about that. But you know what? The good thing is, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But there's an advantage in every disadvantage. And, you know, we're going to get the new floors. We've learned a lot about our house and just home ownership through this experience. And I must say that it has brought me, my wife, and even my 3-year-old daughter closer just by going through this experience. So there's an advantage in every disadvantage. And that'll be one topic that we discuss over and over and over again, because I really believe that it is a major key to anyone who is going to go out and live their dream life, is that they can see the advantages in the disadvantages. They can find the opportunity in the chaos, and that they always realize, as Tony Robbins says, that life is always happening for you and not to you. So we're not going to talk about that a ton today, but we will be discussing that in depth and in great detail in the future. So the other thing is that this is no longer a show about selling. If this is your first time listening in to what used to be called the Sell to Excel show, then welcome to the Dream to Succeed show, because I decided to switch that up. And there's a really good reason for that. And even though that show had, I believe we were at 11,000 listeners, and I really hate to just switch it up like that. If you were really into the selling aspect and the selling tips that I used to give, but I just want to say that I believe there's a large overlap between living your dreams and the profession of selling. I believe that they're really, 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 really close. So you're probably going to still find a lot of great tips in regards to selling, and we will still probably have episodes about selling and how to get your way in life and in business through mastering the art and science of selling. But for now, I really want to focus on dreams, because I believe that living your dreams is my first and greatest passion. It was the one decision that I made, one of the best decisions that I made, next to choosing my wife, next to becoming a veterinarian, next to choosing my spiritual beliefs. It was one of the greatest decisions that I've ever made in my entire life, because I really believe that when you make a commitment to go out and just to live the absolute best life possible, when you make a commitment to be well, when you make a commitment to go out and live your dreams, there's something that happens to you if you stick with that decision, and if you stick with all the steps that it takes to really live your dreams. And if you start to master personal development, master self-care, if you start to do all those things, then life becomes just exceptionally better. And I believe that I can probably speak with a greater conviction to whoever you are, wherever you are. Because one thing that I've realized over the past 2.5 years is that our struggles in life are similar. Our challenges, our problems, the discouragements, we all have those. We all have people that maybe hate on us. We all have people who maybe don't want to see us living our dreams. But I believe that once we start to make that commitment to living our dream life and to living the absolute best life possible, that something really, 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 really magical happens, and that the people who don't want to see you succeed, they just kind of fall away. And eventually they come around. Let me say that one more time. The people who maybe don't want to see you succeed, they kind of fall away. And eventually they come back around. So I really encourage you, if you feel like you're in a situation where you're maybe stuck, or where maybe life's fallen into this mediocre routine where you just kind of wake up and you do the same thing every single day, and you're like, is this it? If you could think back to when you were a kid, life was probably really exciting. Sometimes you didn't even know what was going to happen. Or maybe life was a major struggle when you were a kid. I don't know. But every day now, to me, is like Christmas morning when I was 12, where you're just thinking about it while you're sleeping. You're like, oh my God, is Santa Claus here? Did he drop the gifts off? What's under the tree? What's going to be in my stocking? That's my life every single day when I wake up in the morning. And it's so awesome that I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning every single day, no alarm clock. I'm not exhausted every single day. And it's just the best life ever. And I'm not encouraging people to wake up at 3, but I am encouraging you to go out and live your dream. And if you start to do that effectively, you'll probably want to sleep less. Simply because, your daytime hours are going to be so awesome and so amazing, or your awake hours are going to be so awesome and so amazing that you're going to want to find more. It's very addictive when you start to live your dream. And here's the cool thing. There are tons of people out there encouraging you to go out and live your dream life, live the best life possible. There's not a ton of there is a ton of how-to information out there, but I want to make sure that this podcast is very practical, it's very pragmatic, and it's very how-to-ish. Meaning I'm going to give you clear-cut things, the same exact things that I've done over the past 2.5 years to get to where I am now, which is I haven't had a bad day since November 2016. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to teach you exactly how to do the exact same thing. And there's no exaggeration in that. And if you follow the how-to steps that I'm going to be giving on this show, in 12 months or less, you will thank me. And I don't need your thank you, but you'll probably want to do it anyway. It's my best guess. But you got to follow the tips. And you've got to make that commitment for yourself to go out and live your dream. So again, I know that was kind of a long rant about dreams and everything else, but I apologize for changing up the topic of the show. And to my 11,000 listeners, wherever you guys are throughout the universe, throughout the globe, I hope that you remain with the show. I believe that this one's going to be even better than the last. And I'm really excited about Dream to Succeed, the new name of the show. My name is Dr. Quincy Hawley. This is the Dream to Succeed show. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
My name is Jimmy Davies, and I'm the owner of the Every.Black family of websites. I created EveryBlackEntrepreneur.com because we must become entrepreneurs, and we have to use technology to level the playing field. We support our members by highlighting them in a weekly email announcement. We create a monthly directory where every member has a full-page display. One of the largest advantages of joining the Every.Black family is the ability to network with all of the other members. We have also partnered with the Truth Network to provide a 10% discount for anyone joining and using the discount code of TRUTH, T-R-U-T-H, when signing up. Go to everyblackentrepreneur.com. Click on the sign up button and join today. You can reach us at 919-265-8045. Sign up today and join the movement to achieve economic freedom.
Welcome back to the Dream to Succeed show with Dr. Quincy Hawley. I just kind of want to talk about passion really quickly, or at least my passions. And I'm going to help you guys to discover your own as well as we move forward with different episodes. But my truest and first passion, of course, is living the dream life. I really believe that when I decided to go ahead and do that, when I made that commitment to cut out all the crap I'm going to talk about the crap that I was doing in just a second. Everything changed. Everything changed. The right people came into my life, and the wrong people, and the people who were pulling me down and dragging me backwards in a sense, or contributing to my downfall, they went away. Very, very, very interesting how that happens. But once you will notice this for yourself. And this process that I'm talking about of living your dreams and improving your life, it's impossible to fail, especially if you follow the guidelines and the tips that I've got for you in the show. But my second passion is going to be motivation. When I was struggling a lot, motivational speakers like Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Earl Nightingale, and Jim Rohn, write those names down, pull up their videos, listen to them. I don't care if you stop listening to me right now and go listen to them for the rest of your life and you never listen to another one of my shows, I'd be okay with that. Because I know that the information that they give in their talks, that information is sound. It works. I followed it to the letter, and I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream every single day. So I would like to think that my information and in my shows would do the exact same thing for you. But if you hate the way my voice sounds, or if you just don't like me for whatever reason, YouTube Jim Rohn. Okay? Rohn is spelled R-O-H-N. Earl Nightingale, Les Brown, Eric Thomas, and I'll even throw Brian Tracy in there. They're just some really cool people to listen to. If you like women, some of my favorite ones to listen to are Oprah Winfrey and Lisa Nichols. They're two of the best in terms of just motivators. And they've got a ton of content that's out there on YouTube and many other platforms, I would guess. They also have, most of them have a book as well. So you can go out and buy their book. You can listen to their books, however you want to do it. And let me tell you, just listening to them every single day, multiple times a day, wherever you can fit it in, even if it's only 1 to 3 minutes, 3 times a day, that's 9 minutes out of your 24 hours. It may be exactly what you need to hear to really pull you up, give you that inspiration and drive. And I'm hoping that my podcast will be something very similar to that, where you can just turn me on for a few minutes and get that motivation, get the empowerment, get the drive that you need to just kind of say, okay, refocus, live your dream, well-being, go hard for your dreams. My third passion is going to be the veterinary profession. So I'm a veterinarian. I went to North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride in Greensboro, North Carolina. Graduated from there in 2009. From 2009 to 2013, went to veterinary school at NC State, Pac Pride. And I hated the veterinary profession for the first 3 years that I graduated from veterinary school. I went into a bit of a situation where I experienced something called burnout. And I'm thankful for that situation, because I don't believe that you'd be hearing my voice right now had I not have taken that path and taken that route, because I needed the struggle that I experienced after graduating from veterinary school. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, but the camel's back was already weak because the camel wasn't dreaming. And I believe that any camel that's not living their dream, or at least trying or attempting to live their dream, you've got a weak back. And I don't believe that's something that's for debate. And if you've got a weak back, when the right combination of circumstances, conditions, and life events hits you, it's going to break 100% of the time. So if your well-being, if your life isn't amazing deliberately, okay, because you're taking actions through personal development and self-care to ensure that the infrastructure of your back is really, really strong, the infrastructure of your life is robust, then when the sun goes away, when all of the good things go away, when the economy becomes jacked up, when the right diagnosis comes for either yourself or someone close to you, again, when the right combination of circumstances, conditions, and life events, when that happens, the back's gonna break. And that's what happened to me for the first 3 years after graduation. So I'm gonna talk about something in future shows, well-being versus pseudo-well-being. And for the first 29, 30 years of my life, I was living what I call a life of pseudo-well-being. If you wanna find that definition, you can find it on my website, www.dreamlifemotivation.com. If you go to the resources section and look at the document that says well-being versus pseudo-well-being, you can find those definitions there. Really important to understand, because if you're not in true well-being and you're living a life of pseudo-well-being or poor well-being, those are 3 categories, then you need to make that commitment right now that you are going to switch it over and go to the life of true well-being, which you can do in an instant. In a moment, you can make that commitment to do that. And I believe that this podcast, this radio show is going to be one way by which you can go ahead and achieve that. My 4th passion, I will say, is probably the profession of selling. Just because I believe that once you make the commitment to live your dream, once you become motivated and inspired to go out and do that, that now you need a vehicle by which to achieve that dream. And whether your dream is a not-for-profit, whether it's a business, whether it's just a lifestyle that you want to live, your ability to sell that idea, sell your product or service that you want to do for a living is going to really determine how well you'll be able to go out and live your dream. Okay, I won't get into a ton of detail on that, but let's go ahead and jump to another quick commercial break. This is the Dream to Succeed show with Dr. Quincy Hawley. I'm really excited. We'll be right back. Are you a meeting planner that's looking for an exciting and dynamic speaker? If so, look no further. Dream Life Motivation will provide your organization with a unique, interactive, and dynamic speaking experience. From half-day wellness seminars to transformational and exciting keynotes, Dream Life Motivation provides original and practical material that will leave your team excited and enthusiastic about increasing their productivity and improving their performance on a daily basis. So what are you waiting for? Take your business numbers to the next level by investing in your people. Contact us today by visiting us online at www.dreamlifemotivation.com or by calling us at 919-691-3694. Dream Life Motivation. Empowering dreams, demanding action, creating success. That's what we do. Welcome back to the Dream to Succeed show with Dr. Quincy Hawley. And again, if you're just now joining us for the show, if you're expecting selling tips like I used to give, I changed the name of the show to the Dream to Succeed show from the Sell to Excel show. Okay, I'm sorry. From the Sell to Excel show to the what's now called the Dream to Succeed show. I believe that I can provide greater value to the 11,000 listeners that we had through talking about how to really live your dream life. I believe that's more important than mastering the art and science of selling. So that's going to be the focus of the show. But one thing I wanted to do as we wrap this episode, the first episode of the Dream to Succeed show up, I kind of wanted to share my story a little bit, because I believe that it's really important to understand where I'm coming from. And while I don't think that I've had it as bad as a lot of people that are out there, I have my own struggles. And again, as I stated earlier in the show, our struggles in life are similar. Whether you're the son of a billionaire or whether you're the daughter of someone who has a net worth less than $10,000, I believe that at its core, our struggles in life are similar. While those struggles are going to look a little bit different for the daughter of a billionaire versus the son or daughter of, a poor person, what it does to that individual can be very, 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 very similar, even though the demographics or the ethnic or racial makeup of those two different people may be completely different. But at any rate, my story is that grew up with two amazing parents, amazing family, small town, Oxford, North Carolina, had a good childhood. I was a winner in sports and in academics, and I believe that I got that from, my brother was really, really, really good at athletics. My sister was really, really, really good at academics, and they went on to do good things, and I kind of probably felt that I had to follow in their footsteps in a sense. You know how that goes. If you're the youngest child, then maybe you feel like you have to live up and exceed whatever your older siblings did. And oftentimes that can come from the coaches, that can come from the teachers and instructors, that if you have the same coaches and teachers and instructors that they had, and they did a really good job respectively, then they're kind of looking at you to follow suit and to do good as well. And that's what I did, and I was grateful for that. So I graduated from high school, went on to college, had a full ride tennis scholarship, my favorite sport to play, NFL football, my favorite sport to watch. I was a Philadelphia Eagles fan for a very long time. And so a funny story, I'll just mention this really briefly, but I stopped watching NFL I stopped watching TV altogether when I made my commitment back in November 2016. And of course, the Eagles go on to win the Super Bowl. So I literally stopped watching football. I've been waiting for 20 years for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And the year I stopped watching, they go win the Super Bowl. You see how that can be pretty frustrating, right? Of course. At any rate, graduated from A&T, went to veterinary school, as I mentioned earlier. And for the first 3 years after graduating from veterinary school, now let's keep in mind, I wasn't doing any personal development, any self-care, anything like that for those first 3 years, or actually for the first 29 years of my life. So when the veterinary profession punched me in the throat punch, okay, I wasn't prepared. I couldn't handle it, and I didn't have any coping mechanisms, any positive coping mechanisms, so I turned to alcohol and started to drink a ton. Started to drink a lot. And to the point where I would literally get off work, I'd stop by the first gas station I would see on the way home, I'd get an alcoholic beverage, I poured it in a cup, and I'd drink and drive on the way home. And I did that for about the first 3 years. It was so bad that literally when I was walking into work in the morning, that instead of seeing the name of the hospital on the signs, like when you walk up and you can see like the logo, the sign there on the top of the building, instead of seeing the name of the hospital, I would literally see, guys, welcome back to hell. That's how I felt, and it was pretty tough. It was pretty tough. And my wife, she worked at the same hospital, and we wouldn't get off work until 2.5 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, sometimes an hour after the hospital had already closed, just because it was so busy and everything else. But the crazy thing is that I thought that my marriage was struggling. I gained a lot of weight. I gained, when I graduated from veterinary school, I was probably in the 140 range, 145-ish. Got up to close to 170 in 3 years. Gained a lot of weight. I was eating a ton. I was literally ripping pants in the exam room when I would go down to do an exam on a dog or whatever. Pants would right down the middle. Did that to about, rest in peace, 5 pairs of pants. 3 suit pants, 2 pairs of khakis. It was getting bad, guys. When I would walk, I could actually feel the layer of fat on my belly start to jiggle. Marriage was struggling. I thought it was my wife. She thought it was me. And there were moments where we wanted to walk away from each other. Would have been one of the worst decisions that we'd ever made. But needless to say, that's what we wanted to do because we were at that point. I thought it was the job. I thought it was my boss. I thought it was the clients. I thought it was maybe even the way I was raised at that point. And I was raised well, in my opinion. And with all of that, it becomes really easy to blame the circumstances and conditions for your quality of life. And that's what I was doing. I was blaming all of that. At any rate, I would literally get off work, get the alcoholic beverage and something to smoke, like a Black and Mild. I would smoke and drink on the way home, turn the music up as loud as I could get it, trying to just wash away the pain. Trying to drink the pain away, smoke the pain away, party the pain away. And when I would get home, I'd go to my car that was parked there. And I'd go to the trunk and I had more alcohol in the car. And I would go to the trunk, I'd take a couple of shots, and then I go in the house to face life. I'd try to get into the house so I could go to the shower to wash away the smoke and the smell of alcohol, thinking that you could actually wash that stuff away so my wife wouldn't notice. I had a little girl at the time, had 6 dogs, and no matter what they had done, if they had destroyed the house, if they did something to irritate me later on in the evening, it didn't matter because I was in my drunken state of mind. And to me, that's all I wanted. I wanted to just feel good. And I couldn't do that without those substances. I couldn't do that without the alcohol. Couldn't do that without the music. Couldn't do it without, just going outside to smoke. That was my life. And the days turned to weeks, the weeks turned to months, the month turned into about 3 years. That was my life. That's what I did. And it sucked. It sucked in a major way. Luckily, November 2016, something came over me, and I made a commitment to myself to live the absolute best life possible. It was the day after the November 2016 presidential election. I remember the day I was sitting up in my man cave. I was actually already 1 drink in, because on my off days, I would start drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning. As soon as my wife would go to work, I'd take the first shot. Yeah, it was that bad. But anyway, I was 1 drink in already, and I made a commitment on that day to spend the rest of my life pursuing the absolute best life possible for myself. And that's exactly what I did. It's exactly what I did. I made a commitment to spend every second, minute, hour, day, week, month, and year of the rest of my life pursuing my full potential. That was one of the best decisions that I'd ever made in my entire life, and it leads me to where I am now. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about that journey on future shows. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this show up. On next week's show, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I did, some of the action steps. So next week when you come, or on the next episode, it might be in a couple of days even, I'm going to give you some of those clear-cut how-to steps, tell you exactly what I did to get to where I am now. This is the Dream to Succeed show. I look forward to hearing from all of you. If you like what you're hearing, if you want to subscribe to that dream life, go to www.dreamlifemotivation.com, dreamlifemotivation.com, and you can join that community. It's going to be a community. I'm telling you, if you're still alive, if you're hearing these words, you've got to understand, it is not by coincidence. It is not by coincidence that you, whoever you are listening to this. If it wasn't meant for you to hear not only this episode, but future episodes, then you wouldn't be hearing it. Let me say that one more time. If it wasn't meant for you to hear not only this episode, but future episodes, your ears would be somewhere else. So if you're hearing me, it was meant to be. Join that community. We're going to live our dreams together. And I can't wait to start hearing the stories of the listeners who are going out and actually trying everything that I'm talking about in this. And guys, I know it works. I did it. My wife's done it. I have my business partner is doing it. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So thank you so much for listening to the show, and I'll see you on the next one.